Hello, Mark. Welcome to the party.
Hey, Justin. I'm actually late this time.
Oh, late. Ah, well, no
Yes,
one, no one at home cares about that.
it's
Um,
true.
so yeah, interesting times we live in. Very, very interesting.
Yes, it's downside of it being such a wonderful festivity laden holiday time for me here is there are lots of noisy drums and clangs and little events going on at the uh, the nearby temples and so forth, which messes up my my normal nap time.
Mhm.
No, you got quiet.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Say some more.
Hello, some more, some more, some
Yeah, I
more.
can hear you, but you're still quiet.
Okay, hold on a second.
It's always after you like do something like that.
Yeah, so it's the. Can
Oh,
you hear me
there we
now?
go. Yeah, perfect.
It's the mute button. So basically, obviously, what the mute button does is like actually cuts off the USB, which is kind of a pain in the ass. All right, so I guess I won't use the mute button then.
I'm just pulling a little closer. All right.
Yeah.
Um.
So you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying the downside of it being such a nice festival late in time of year is there are lots of noisy festivals at the nearby temples and so forth. Um, Lots of drums and clanging and stuff like that. Occasional fireworks. So interrupts my normal nap time. So I was taking a nap during our normal show time.
Oh, yes. Well, so so our president has had COVID and recovered. Does this mean that COVID isn't so
Oh,
bad?
oh, right. I, you
What do you
know,
think
I,
about that?
I was all caught up with the H-1B visa news.
Oh, okay.
I think I guess he's how old? He's 74, right? So
Hmm.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I think he's getting way better care than almost anyone else in the world would. So I would expect he'd get better, but um, the timing is is sure pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
don't know. Like I don't know if they could get someone else on the ballot in time. I don't think they could.
sorry, backgrounding you.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah. So
Did you hear what I just said though?
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
like well, no, exactly. They could. Well, I mean, it would be kind of crazy if something bad happened to him, and then what would happen? I mean, obviously, but
I
nothing bad
think
did happen to him so far. So
although a lot of people have false recoveries with it, so we don't know. Um
oh, really?
but yeah, like people that's like a really common thing. Like people will get sick for a few days and then they'll be feeling better and then they'll get way worse after that.
Interesting. Yeah, but he's had all these steroid injections and all these different things. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best care in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure. And well, if assuming he's cooperative with what is, I'm sure they try to give him the best care.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I don't know. I think if he weren't to make it, that the party would still get to run somebody, but they might have to run them under his name or something weird like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't think that's ever happened before. Although I don't know for sure.
Well, it's not like the first time that he'd done something that's never happened before.
True, true. Um, yeah. So the that I guess this just shows I don't really keep up with the news because most of this I'm getting filtered through secondhand.
Okay.
But one thing that was at the top of my radar that I've also heard people talking about is the H-1B visa changes.
Yeah, that's been the top of that was the top of hacker news for a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, also like a common ad that I get on my mobile phone is like help to get ready for an H-1B. Even though I'm American, I guess
Yeah.
the ad networks aren't quite sure who I am, and I've been living in Asia the last 5 years. So, yeah, it's interesting to me because I like so many people have been frustrated by H-1Bs for a long time. And I think both the people who want more immigration and the people who want less, as well as the immigrants and companies hiring them, just like I think everyone's been kind of frustrated with it. And it's changed, or it's going to be changing in terms of increasing the minimum salary you can have to get one. And it's it doesn't seem it doesn't seem as radical as some people on Hacker News had thought, because the salary cap when it was initially created was 60,000, or the salary minimum was like $60,000 when it was created.
Yeah.
But $60,1990 are about the same as $120,020
Oh, so it's changed to 120,000.
It's really complicated. It's gone up, and I think it's going up to around that, but it's based on like what percentile, like how experienced someone is and what percentile they're being paid in. So previously, if they were entry level, they had to be paid at least the 17th percentile, and now it's like at least 60 something percentile. And if they were senior,
they do that?
why do they have a pay amount?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's not a general employment visa. It's supposed to be for specialists that are of a considerable benefit for the U.S. to be able to hire.
Yeah.
And even as it's written in the books already, you aren't allowed to give an H-1B visa to someone for less than you would pay a local. Although that's not how it works in practice. Like the H-1Bs that I met, even working at Groupon, which at the time was a pretty successful, Bay Area unicorn, they would all make less than it seemed like they would have.
Interesting.
Okay. And it's because of a lot of things, but the big one is if you have an H-1B visa, you can't change jobs easily. Your job is tied to your employer. Your residency is tied to your employer, and if you change jobs, you'd have to find someone else that could sponsor you for an H-1B visa.
That seems like the thing that they should change to me. Like that would be quite good.
I think the increasing the amount is actually good.
Yeah.
Which I can explain why in a bit, but I think yeah, they, like definitely like just letting people change jobs after they're admitted on H-1B would that would actually handle a lot of the downward salary pressure, and it would be so much better for those people, because you don't want to have a boss that has complete control over you. Otherwise, you can't really negotiate salary.
Yeah, and you don't want employees that you have complete control over either. To be
I have had that experience myself as an employee abroad.
Yeah.
Both in Taiwan and then in Beijing. Obviously, and I still had some advantages being native English speaker in Taiwan, at least as a programmer in Beijing. Maybe I didn't have a lot of advantages, but I
was just thinking, you have been in Asia for 5 years, and we have no context of that as listeners/viewers at home. It would be super cool if you just took a little video of just like somewhere around your local area, walking around the streets or something, just to give us a sense of your daily life. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I might be able to throw one up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't include any incriminating evidence or anything.
You'll see me crossing through the grass in the park instead of using the sidewalk.
The vision I have in my mind is like Lost in Translation types of super dense city stuff. But I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. Is it like that, or is it different to that?
I have lived in spots like that before, but right where I am is a little bit less dense, because I live near the river. But I could travel 20 minutes and be in a place that looks a lot like Lost in Translation.
Now I'm thinking you're in a place that has like little winding roads and rice paddies.
Not
So
quite, but that would be like an hour in a different direction would get me to
okay.
that.
It must be it's kind of cool that where you live that you've been there in this kind of crazy. I guess it's just normal for you at this point.
I mean, I've seen a lot of different places too, but I've actually spent more years living in Taipei and its suburbs, which is where I am now, than I have any other city in my life, like since I was a little kid.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, I spent 7 years in Taiwan, most of that in Taipei, right after college, and then most of the last 3.5 years I've been here still
Hmm.
too. So
That's cool.
yeah, um, but these H-1Bs,
Sorry,
if
sidetracked.
if you like the way it works right now is the limit of what or the minimum pay to get one is not very high, and a lot of people who get them are actually paid less than Americans who are at the same doing the same level of work because just because of the inflexibility to hop jobs, and there's still like a limit on the number that can be given. So the result is, Google or Facebook or some big U.S. tech company like applies for an H-1B, or they apply for a couple thousand maybe, but then there are these just low end contracting body shops that apply for like 1 million, and then it's a lottery that determines who gets one
Okay.
out of everyone that would qualify.
Yeah.
So like the companies that are like legitimately trying to bring in experts are often losing in the lottery to like spam applications
So
from like,
what does the new system do?
well, the new system increases the price, so it's no longer profitable to just claim someone's an expert and then try to hire them or apply for them to get an H-1B and send them to US for 60,000 a year.
Okay, but does it still keep the limitations?
Yeah, I think the number limit is the same as it has been. It's just so I think the effect is going to be very bad for like these Indian outsourcing shops.
Okay.
It's going to be slightly good for large U.S. tech companies because they won't be flooded out by as many applicants, and it's going to be slightly good for U.S. employees because there won't be the same downward pressure on the salaries, and it'll be slightly good or actually be very good for the people getting the H-1Bs because they'll be getting paid more, and there'll still be the same number getting in, but it's going to be a different number of people getting in. There'll be fewer low-end programmers getting lucky and getting in through a lottery,
Yeah.
but there'll be more high-end people that are getting brought in by big companies.
So it is good, generally speaking.
I think it's moderately good. I think it's
Slightly
not.
good.
I think it's not as good as. I think it's better than nothing, but it's not as good as if people's employment weren't tied to the company. And there's one new rule that I hate, which is they're going to start caring about degrees for everyone getting them except for models. So
Okay.
like you'd have to be a computer science major to get it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that's crazy because like lots of
That
our
is really silly.
best immigrants that are best, computing field luminaries who are immigrants were not computer science majors.
Don't they have like an exception to that? Some sort of exceptional person kind of rule?
Well, there's a different visa called the O visa,
Mm-hmm.
and that one is probably what everyone in that former bucket would have to try to go through,
Okay.
or like an E3 if you're Australian. That's like there's like a zillion different visas for narrow different cases, but the O visa is a lot harder to get.
Well, how did you do on your goals, Mark?
Oh yes, mostly good. Mostly good. I I have gotten the requisite number of videos recorded. I've got so much I'm not even sure about releasing them.
Oh, so you've done your 4.
I've done 4,
Wow.
and I have I've come up with a system that's going to make it easier to do a lot more. Also, because
Time travel?
I've thought about no, I thought about some other video types I can do that are less work.
Okay.
Because if I'm just aiming for like a number of videos, I'll still do like the screencasts for all my paid stuff. But for some of the free stuff, like for videos where I just need to keep YouTube going, I can just do a Q&A on a topic that I think
Oh, I
is,
was thinking, I was hoping you weren't going to say it was like one of those videos I've seen where you go in and it teaches you how to code, and then there's a computer voice speaking. First, you print
oh
type,
no,
add that,
no,
those
no.
terrible ones.
No, but I was thinking there are things that people ask all the time, either on my site or on Indie Hackers, I could answer, and I've done a few videos like that. But um, I could have a video on the topic of what is the biggest mistake job-seeking programmers make when they choose a language, or
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
cool.
that. You know,
Yeah.
and I have lots of thoughts on those things.
Hmm.
What else? I was just doing 4 videos, and that was it. Oh, and then also Sober October, but I changed my mind on that. I think I picked the worst time possible for that because it's like right before all the barbecues
Okay.
and social events. It'd be kind of like in the US if you pick like December 20th through January 20th or something. It's like right so that you like are out for Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, but it always seems like party time where you are.
It does kind of, and that's probably because I have a lot of younger friends.
Yeah.
But it's I'm not going to go to any wild parties or anything. Um, just barbecues and
Do you get
stuff like that.
Netflix?
I could.
There's a great show called by this comedian Jack Whitehall, and it's Jack Whitehall travels with my father. And
Hmm.
it's weird when you click into it. Somehow, for some reason, it starts at season 5. But if you start season 1, and the reason why I think you might like it is because okay, so his dad is like 74, and he's sort of doing these travels with his dad, who used to be a media agent. But he's a very proper guy. Like, this guy is the kind of guy who would just seem very well placed to be sitting at the dining table with the Queen. And his son is a comedian who sort of makes fun of him a lot, but essentially is going on these travels around places like Taipei and in really strange places. And his dad really has never left England, has never left the Silver Spoon, and is really having an interesting time. So they get into it's interesting because it's funny, but it's also educational, and they get really good guides in every place they go to. Obviously, the researchers found someone who really knows the place really well,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to all the offbeaten parts of it. So it's sort of like a cross between a travel show and a comedy show, and I think it's something you might appreciate.
It's cool. I might. I mean, I
Yeah,
like traveling. I don't like the normal tourist, like
yeah,
I'm gonna do Europe in 4 days, and you just spend all your time going from city to city and like getting a picture at the most famous places. But I love, going, 3 months to a place like a digital nomad, or,
yeah, yeah.
just like living in Beijing for a year and a half when I did.
I mean, I
It-
loved that before I had
It's
a wife and kids.
it's
That was
totally
always fun.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's probably why I don't have a wife and kids because I've moved so much. But
Yeah. So cool. So you did you have a health goal?
not except the one I just said. I did fast one day,
Yeah.
although that wasn't. I didn't have a special goal along that, and I also did some body weight exercises 2 days, no running, which is
Cool.
kind of a shame because the weather is so good for it now.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else? Yeah, I kind of I humble bundle snipe myself.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the humble bundle sounds kind of interesting if you've got a lot of free time and no wife and kids, and you can do
Oh my
lots of
gosh.
reading.
Well, just yeah, all those programming books. It's pretty bad actually.
Well, tell us about it.
All right. So I tweeted about a Humble Bundle, which was like my most successful tweet in ages. I said, like, do you want an Erlang book, like an intro level Erlang book for $8? Well, you can get it and 14 other books in this Humble Bundle. And then I started looking at them. I was like, oh yeah, Land of Lisp. I bought that one. I love that one. I spent $40 for it. It's here in this bundle. And then I saw, oh, Elegant JavaScript. I went through that one too. And that was pretty good. Then I looked some more. I was like, ooh, yeah, I think I want that one as well. And that one. And I just bought the bundle. And I've spent a ridiculous amount of time the last few days going through some of the books. Mostly C++ related ones, and I've got a different book that's on C++ and WASM. And I've, as I told you before, I've got that other book I'd been doing with Rust and WASM, and I've got super into WASM, so I'm kind of spending a lot of time on low level stuff I'm not using now. But
What's WASM?
WASM is WebAssembly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there are different ways to make WebAssembly projects. You can do it directly through the WebAssembly language, which is super tiny. I told you about before that I made that little checkers game with. Or you can use another language that compiles to it. And the only languages that really make sense for that are like C, C++, and Rust, because they don't have like a whole runtime to put into the bundle, which makes it huge.
Yeah.
So like if you make something with like WASM and Go or like .NET, which some people do, then you're going to have like just automatically you'll have a few megabytes of file.
Yeah, yeah.
That has to be shipped down to the browser.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been getting super into that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I know something will come up. Yeah.
Well, it's the same as me in Roblox. Like it's just
Well,
I didn't know. No, when I started playing, I was just making carrots. I mean, I wasn't coding. I had no idea, but I was just kind of fascinated. I was like, this is interesting. I'm playing around with this concept.
I was going to say, you've got a plan to make some money on the Roblox store.
Well, that's now, but
yeah,
earlier I was just, I didn't have a plan. I was just exploring.
Yeah, sometimes that pays off.
Yeah. I think follow your passion. I think follow your passion in general pays off. Like follow the hell yeah.
Follow the hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a dangerous one for me.
Why?
Because I spent a lot of more time in college playing StarCraft than I did studying.
Well,
and
you are who you are
we'll
because
see.
of your choices.
That's true. That's true. The thing I like about digging into WASM is it's kind of living in the future. Like it's something that's definitely getting more important as time goes by. So
it's so funny you say that. The thing I like about Roblox is it's like living in the past. It's like the whole environment of Roblox feels exactly the same as I feel exactly the same as I felt when the internet first happened, when web browsers first happened, when just and also when Flash happened, which was the second version of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no sort of standards. It's completely Wild West. Like everyone is just having fun, just being sort of in awe about the different things that they can do, and it's not conglomerated or unified, or it's just kind of Wild West higgledy-piggledy.
Although I think that's often a sign that something is kind of the future.
Yeah.
Because like it's probably still growing if it feels that way.
Yeah. It's a great feeling, and that's what you must feel with the WASM thing.
Yeah. Like I think over time there's going to be a lot of stuff written in it.
Yeah. So sorry, I missed on what you just said. I didn't pick up on what you just said. So what I just described, you said was something of the future. Yes, it is something.
I think when you have that feeling,
it definitely is something of the future.
It's a sign.
But I've missed I've missed that feel that I've had that feeling a few times in my life. So for me, it's sort of like a nostalgic feeling, the feeling of something in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that just means you spend a lot of your life like as a bit of a geek, kind of like on the leading edge,
I think so.
seeing what's
Yeah,
coming. You know.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't part of the Node side of things. For that, Jason Roberts was, and I imagine that it was a lot. It felt a lot like that when Node came out. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, it did. It did because I was into it then too,
yeah.
and the reason I met him was he came to my programming school to talk about it,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and we were also going to meetups, and there was just so many people who were like wow, this feels like this is going to be a big deal. This feels like Rails did 4 years ago,
Hmm.
kind of thing. That was like in 2012, 2013.
There should be like, and I guess that's what cryptocurrency felt like as well. Um, although cryptocurrency is a bad boy.
I get I get a strong feeling from cryptocurrency that it is like the internet was in like the late 90s or something,
Yeah.
because it's it is like wide open. There are no dominant players. It's drawn like this weird collection of like geeks and anarchists and spooks and bankers and
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. Yeah, a good way of putting it.
yeah. I think what happened 2 years ago or 3 years ago is that was that was all just like scams and hype. But I think real stuff is starting to happen now, especially in DeFi, like decentralized finance.
Well, there was some people who even in the middle of the scam were doing something good, and I invested in one of them called OMG. But
Was that one of the good ones?
yeah, because well, obviously I lost a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a bad investment at the time. But I do think that in the fullness of time, it will turn it out to be a good investment and will make money. So they were down to like, well, they were trading at between 14 and 25 when I went in, and
Mm-hmm.
they I think last year they were down to as low as 50 cents. So basically everything wiped out. But then they actually delivered on a couple of their promises just within the last 6 months. So then they went up to $9, and now they've settled at about $3.50, which is a sensible price. They have a product, and like of any of them, like they seem very good. I mean, they are essentially the what do you call it, DeFi?
DeFi.
Yeah,
Well, DeFi, what I called it is that's something on top of Ethereum.
that's what they. Yeah. So what they have is they have like I guess like a staking protocol. See, the problem with the cryptocurrency stuff is it's hard to explain, and it's
Hmm.
even harder to understand.
Especially if you're not deep into it.
Yeah, but basically, the way that
Oh, okay. I just looked. I just Googled OMG DeFi. OMG price doubles as DeFi and uh, doubles in the past 7 days as record Ethereum fees lead investors to look more closely at layer two solutions. Okay.
oh yeah, it is DeFi, and but I think they were one of the original ones, and they already had in place a lot of partnerships with companies in Thailand. Like basically, they're just very very legit. Like the deeper you look into them, the more legit they seem.
I knew a bunch of
What was the
digital
price you just saw?
nomads in Thailand that went there. It's doubled in the last 7 days. I don't know what it is now. Um, there was a CoinDesk story on it.
326. Yeah.
Oh, that story was from August 20th though. So it
Yeah,
doubled.
that was
It
when it went
doubled
to
within
nine.
7 days back in the summer.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I've not looked too much at the alternate coins except one that one of my friends was involved with, and then mostly Ethereum because it seems like that's where almost all the engineering effort is going.
Hmm.
But I haven't dug in too deeply because it hasn't. I don't know. Like for some, like blockchain is like interesting to me in the abstract, but it's not something I'm really driven to spend a lot of time like reading about or
It's
experimenting
not
with.
physical enough for me. It's not like it's too it's all back end kind of thing. You know, it's just 100%
Hmm.
back end. It's not enough
Hmm.
front end for my personal taste.
If I had a nicer graphics card, I would probably be playing around more with VR.
Oh yeah, VR. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not as it's not getting as much action or attention in general, but I'm still pretty bullish about it.
I mean, I do have an idea for VR, and I think that if this slider concept works with Roblox, and then maybe going in and doing a second game, then it might become a legit game studio and start thinking about VR. You know, other platforms.
Well, you got to ship it 1 week away, right?
No, it's not going to be 1 week.
Oh man,
I think it's going to be. Um, I think it's going to be the 1st of November.
the 1st of November.
I mean, it might be out
That's
before
not
then. Might
that's
be
not
out before
bad.
then.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's the longest it'll be. Yeah.
Okay. Good to hear. And I am gonna kind of hold you on that because I've gotten some feedback that they're like, why are we keep hearing about this Roblox thing? So
What's the feedback?
oh, that was just from Liam. He said like our show's getting better. He liked 25, which neither of us did, but I
Oh yeah.
heavily edited. Um,
Are we up
yeah,
to date yet?
no, it's actually worse because I didn't publish one this week.
Oh, so
I just got
really,
so sucked into the C++ book.
so will this show go out in 1 month?
Yes. I will actually. Yeah, that's a good motivation for me. I've got to get this out before the deadline happens.
Well, then I can screen share Slider then, because then that will force me to put the to
Yeah,
release it in a
yeah, we
month.
should do that.
Yeah, should I do that right now?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Okay, can
Oh,
you hear it now?
nice music. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so here we are in the Sliderverse. Whoa. There is Emperor Zorg.
Emperor Zorg. What?
Yeah, Emperor Zorg is the ruler of the Sliderverse, and it is for him that you get power. Let me turn the volume down here. There we go. All right, so
leave it at 2.
leave it at 2. Okay, hang on. There is going to be an ongoing track. Actually, I can't leave it at 2 because it's like screwing up my own head.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just sort of run around. So there's different vibes and different challenges. The shop, we're just sort of starting to get the shop done. Then in the shop, you'll be able to go and buy upgrades like a double jump. So right now, I can triple jump. Look, I'll just show you here.
Yeah, nice.
I can do 1, 2, 3 triple jump. But you'll be able to upgrade. So buy a double jump and then a triple jump and then a speed boost and things like that. And so the Emperor Zorg, so we're just releasing. It's just a hint of the ultimate storyline. So the ultimate storyline is going to be that you collect power. So we'll just go and collect some power now. And as you collect power, that power you use to basically power up a robot pet who kind of follows you around, so you end up saving pets. So I'm going to show you something here, which is called the level up thing. One sec. Oh.
Yeah, this is surprisingly polished in parts for how blocky the main guy looks.
I know, right? Okay, hang on. So you'll see. Can you see on the top right my my level going up?
The novice slider. Oh,
Yeah.
I see the little
Yeah.
bar above
Yeah.
novice
So that's
slider.
basically I'm level 0 here. So if I do this 3 times, I will get to be a level 1, and then you can see the. Can you see the? What do you think of the timer? It's also going to do like, oh, if you hit a personal best, it's going to let you know. Okay, so this time it's going to.
Oh, so this is like how long you've got left to finish the challenge?
No, it's just timing you how you're doing.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so in this time it's going to level up, and you'll see the actual level up. I wanted to make this really feel really good to the end user. So check this out now.
This is awesome. Yeah, you're gonna need to like make a little clip of this we can put on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
separately because I think I think we may be a little bit bandwidth constrained right now
Oh, okay.
since we're on the Zoom, but there's a lot of neat stuff to see here.
Can you see the like this? So basically, this is circuit board grass. But the whole theme is around power and digital.
Yeah, I see it all. It's a little bit choppy, but I think that's just
Oh,
because of our bandwidth.
okay.
Yeah, it looks very cool though.
I'll just show you one other challenge thing here, if I can get in. Let's see, South Beach. Yeah. So to get through to each of the challenges is essentially going to be covered up by these force fields. So you can't get into the challenge until you get keys, which then unlocks that challenge. So I've been very carefully following the Octalysis game framework that you told me about.
Oh, nice.
So there's all sorts of different motivations here.
Has anyone else play tested this besides you?
Yeah, well, only 6-year-olds.
That's fine. That's your target market.
Yeah. So what I just want to show you that one there. There's another one, and then there's the whole island. You know, the whole Sliderverse, as it were.
Yeah, because the reason I ask is because when you've just got like one group of play testers,
Yeah.
the game always gets too hard because the play testers get better and better and better.
I know. That's what I do think that. Like when I, oh look, see, there's a key there. So you collect the keys,
Nice.
and then I haven't done the UI for like how to display what the collected keys look like, but I'm still working on it. It's just the final touches. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put like so on the right here, on this area here, I'm going to put like a sort of an Androidy type face that's going to be blue and like floaty and fluorescenty, and then that's going to be like Cortana in that one game that I can't remember the name of, but it's like your sort of personal helper.
Cortana?
So
that's like the Microsoft helper?
Maybe that's the wrong one, but it's like a little hologram kind of helper, and it's going to be Georgie who's going to be doing the speaking. Oh. So she's going to say, welcome to the Sliderverse, cool. Your next challenge is to get the yellow key at such and such a tower, things like that. And what else did I have? Yeah, this in Zorg, as you walk under the arch, I think I'll say something like, if you look up, you'll see our great leader, Emperor Zorg. There's a rumor that if you jump into his head, you'll get 1,000 power. And so then they'll have like a little thing where they do this. They like jump up and have to jump into his head.
And will you give them 1,000 power?
Yeah. I think that could be like the daily reward. So basically, come back tomorrow, you get another 1,000.
Oh yeah. Just giving people a reason to keep coming back day after day.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it's at. Definitely made progress. And the other thing is it's saving that. So it's saving, which is the other thing. So it's plugged into the database backend systems. So it's saving the power. It's saving what level you're at. It's saving the time. So it's sort of the functional foundations of it are there. It's really now just polishing and wrapping it up, getting it ready for first alpha play testing.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks. I think this was modeled on you, actually, now that I think about it. Emperor
What
Zorg.
was? Emperor Zorg?
Emperor Zorg, yeah, I think he's you.
Well, I do make people more powerful, so I like that.
But even just the way you're sitting there with your chair, it's like that you've got the collars. You are exactly like Emperor Zorg. You've got exactly the same goatee. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop the share.
Wow. All right. What a demo.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff that used to need like a top level developer years ago.
Can now have a shit developer like me.
Or like a team can have someone who's like, oh, I've never made any games before. I don't really know Lua. Let me just like mess around and see what happens. And
that's in 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, literally to the day, 3 months. Because I was going over the conversations that I had with Anthony, like when I first connected with him to start thinking about it, and it was 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's cool. Although I guess you did, or no, he's not. Is he all designer or is he also a developer?
All design. He's just doing the building of it. So he's done the islands and the general. He does the games. I wouldn't have the patience to actually create the stuff in the 3D space, like the ramps and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
it's a
he's
real
making all the assets.
yeah, it's a really big deal to have him. Yeah.
Here's the thing I'm kind of curious about, because I'm just trying, since you've first you started working on this, I've been curious about your competitive advantage and like why are you doing this and all that. Aside from the fact that your son got sucked into the game, which got you sucked into it, um, who do you think like your typical competitors are? Like of someone who makes something that is maybe not the top game, but like a profitable game on the Roblox store. Who do you think they are? Are they like a teenager? Are they, um, a game dev who's like heard about the opportunity and jumped in?
I think the ones who I'm competing with are more professional.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think all the from what I can tell, the games that are kind of easier to build and that a lot of teenagers are monetizing really well are these kind of adopt a pet kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the biggest game on Roblox is called Adopt Me. Anytime you go in, it's got 500,000 users using it. And essentially, you just are adopting pets. You can be adopted, you can adopt someone, you're sort of going around, and it's just it's a very flat experience that's
Mm-hmm.
just more about like game mechanics of like
Right.
accruing points, buying things, winning things. Um, there's the people who I'm really competing with, I imagine, are proper game developers who've built like there's a paintball game. There's another game called Ninja Legends, which it sort of stands out, in Roblox. There's a few of them, and I feel like they're proper. There might just be one guy, one or two guys, but
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be the ones that actually have effects and people moving around and things like that seem to be I guess the ones that are arcadey seem to
Mm-hmm.
be uh, seem to be more like a faceless corporation than the ones that are just teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this would be really appealing for like the former like iOS lone wolf devs or like at the company where I worked in Beijing that was iOS platform for educational apps. We used to call them part-time Pauls, just like
Yeah.
engineers or maybe teachers or someone who's in their part-time they make this math game for kids or something and put it on the app store, and they used to pretty much dominate it in 2011, and I think they got pushed out by like multi-person teams as
Yeah.
time went on, or
Yeah.
pushed into more and more niche stuff.
Big corp.
And I could see a lot of those people like checking out new stuff like
Well,
Roblox.
what I think is cool is I've seen a few people who started out in Roblox, and then they were individual the kind of guys you're talking about or girls, and then they sort of got to a point where they were like, I'm kind of limited here. I'm going to move over to Unity. I'm going to move over to Unreal. I want to just be in a proper game development system.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a path that I see a lot. I don't see very many people. And the reason why I'm saying this is I feel good about this because I think a lot of those very talented people probably aren't going to get into Roblox because they're going to want to be. They've already got Steam. They've already got their different systems and they can really have super fine control over the games they want, and they create all
Yeah.
sorts of weird and different and interesting stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to just be. I actually kind of want to be confined to this weird Roblox scenario, especially because Jack's in it right now. I could imagine
That's
that
the big
maybe,
thing, I think.
yeah, yeah. I could imagine if Jack got, if when Jack gets older and he gets into different types of games, maybe I'll be more interested in that stuff right then. But
Yeah.
I, I don't know. Starting to be a game dev at 52, 51 rather.
That's not normal. Like the normal path is like you get obsessed with it as a teenager, and then you offer to work for like 70% of minimum wage, and take abuse
Yeah.
for 60 hours a week at some game company. And then after a while, you level up into like a sort of reasonable job.
This
It's
is
like,
the yeah.
it's like Hollywood. It's like, I'm going to go like be an actor, but
I know.
you have to like get a job waiting tables in order to cover it.
There's a lot of very counterintuitive things about Roblox. I hope you don't mind we keep talking about it, but
I don't mind.
um, what something that's very counterintuitive is oh damn, I lost my train of thought. But it
Well, you were
was
talking about how everything was just magically available both on the server and the client,
oh yeah, that
or
was
like
it.
old school
So
Meteor.
so the really counterintuitive thing is from my business analysis, for whatever that's worth, counterintuitively, Roblox seems like it would be better to dig for gold than to build picks and shovels, which is very strange. In like I would think in most markets, the better thing to do is to build picks and shovels, not dig for gold. But with Roblox, I just don't think you are going to make anything selling to developers of that system because the vast majority of developers are 14-year-old kids.
That is the thing.
So you're better off using the other counterintuitive thing about Roblox is that everyone's tried to build micropayments that works and no one's succeeded except for Roblox. It's the only example of actually really good micropayment system that
I
can make a
would
lot of cash for people.
disagree with that.
Tell me.
I so micropayments have been a big thing in online gaming for at least 17 years or something, 15 to 17. They got big in Korea first, then Chen Tianqiao, the guy that started Shengda, which is called Shanda in English romanization, he like bought assets from Korean companies as a college student and started doing the same thing in China like 2005 or
I can't
2006.
imagine why I'd never heard of those examples.
Well, I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar company that like us Americans were investing in too. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
listed in the NASDAQ, but
All right.
since then, like it took longer for them to come to the US, but League of Legends has lots of little payments. Hearthstone, which is made by Blizzard, it's like a card game. People are spending money on this little thing and that little thing inside of it, and then all the really big like iOS and Android mobile earners have been that way too. Like Clash of Clans 4 years ago. I don't know if you heard about that one. But
Well, I stand
build up
very
a
corrected.
base.
I stand very
Yeah,
corrected, and let me just say I was wrong.
it's I think it's the weird thing though is it's been restricted to games, and it seems like the strategy that all of these, that not like the indie hacker but like the massive like multi-billion-dollar a year earning companies have been doing is they've been making something free, investing heavily into it, making it amazing and addictive, and then inside their free, because there's like all this competition everywhere, and the hard thing is just to get users. But then once you get enough users inside your little free universe, you can sell virtual things, and you're a monopoly inside your universe.
Yeah.
It's thing that's interesting to me for Roblox is just that they've made their own platform out of it. So instead of everyone just buying the stuff they've created inside their game, they're letting people like you make your games and earn a cut.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. I mean, I'm just looking at the front page now. Adopt Me has 700,000 people playing it at this point in time, at this moment. Bloxburg has 100,000 people playing it. Royal High has 160,000 people. And each of these games has these little tiny, yeah, I'll, buy this little thing for 100 Robux, buy this little thing for 50 Robux. And when you've got 700,000 people in it, generally speaking, that turns into a lot of cash. you know.
Well, and it's a power law distribution. So
Mm.
like there will be some whales that spend a
Mm.
ridiculous amount of money
Mm.
on it because they spend a ridiculous amount of time on it. Like if you're playing it 4 hours every day for years, it's more like an ice skating hobby or something where people spend money on skates and spend money on training and
You know, I have a general rule of thumb that from the financial research that I did, and they don't really release these figures anymore, but that they did have them going for a while. I think if you have on average 1,000 users playing it, you will probably make around 100,000 a year if you monetize it well. So Adopt Me is making around. I think they're probably making about 7 million a year, type of thing.
for 1,000 users
They have
playing
700.
concurrent.
They have like 500,000 users at any one time. Generally speaking, they've got 700,000 right now. So I'm sure they're making 5 million a year approximately.
So your calculation is going from average concurrent users to
Yeah,
income.
I think
Okay.
everything. I think the average concurrent users of 1,000 equates to between 50 and 100,000 revenue, depending on how good you are at monetizing the game. And there's like sleazy ways you can monetize, and there's like white hat ways you can monetize. So I think you just have to be good at white hat monetization, um, and I think you can get between 50 and 100,000 with an average of 1,000 concurrent users.
And I think the white hat monetization also leads to more users because like I think with League of Legends, all the money people were spending on it was to make their avatar look cooler and like
Mm-hmm.
get access to all the characters at all times. It wasn't to get like an in-game advantage. And if it
Interesting.
were, I think it would have wrecked the entire game.
Huh. Well, I was definitely thinking of selling in-game advantages because the keys, I was thinking of giving you the option of buying the keys. So because there might be a challenge that's just too hard for you and you want to get onto the next one.
Yeah. Well,
Is that
that's
bad?
I don't think it is for your game because
Okay.
League of Legends is like that is a competitive game that has a professional circuit.
Oh,
That's
no,
like
no, no.
StarCraft was, and it's like if we had like a I don't know like if there were a separate chess tournament circuit where you could spend money to like take away one of your opponent's pawns, like it
Got
would
it.
be
Okay.
wrecked
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
because
no,
it's a skill
that
game.
makes no sense. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes no sense. Yeah.
yeah. So I had another topic I wanted to mention super quickly.
Yeah.
That is Elixir 1.11 or 1.11 is released. And unlike updates I've seen in a lot of other ecosystems, this one is great. Like there's no new cognitive load to worry about. Basically, the compiler got faster. The compiler can now check more things and warn you about them, and you get Erlang docs inside the interactive shell. So
That's very cool.
yeah, it's just like everyone's quality of life got a bit better. It'd be, you know,
That was like when PHP 7 got released.
yeah.
It's like what I don't have to do anything, and all of a sudden I'm like on the same level as Facebook. I mean, like
Well,
my apps just speed up by like 250%. Like what the heck, you know?
did they change the semantics of the language at all?
They added them, but they didn't break
They
it.
added
There
some
were no
stuff.
breaking changes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
all of a
remember
sudden you just got like ridiculous speed increases.
PHP 5. Is that the one that brought in namespaces?
Probably sounds familiar.
Yeah, because like when my PHP experience is all from when I wasn't really a programmer.
Hmm.
So I remember back in the day I had a WordPress blog, and sometimes I would like get a plugin that just clobbered everything because it had a function named the same thing as like some other plugin that I had.
Yeah.
Um, so
Hmm.
when I learned what namespaces were, I was like, oh, that's so important. Why didn't
Yeah,
they have
that
that?
makes sense. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
one update. Um, so Mateo with Hey Hi is doing great. He's got 4 paying customers at this point. Did he have any paying customers last time we spoke?
I think he had one.
Yeah.
So
So
sounds like
he's up
yeah.
to 4, and he's He's getting ready to push it out to beta list, and yeah, this is going to be great, and I'm really looking forward to doing that interview with him.
Is he going to spend money to push it to beta list, or is he just going to
He'll spend money to get
let
it
them
out
do
there.
it?
Yeah, I'd say you spend $200 and then it gets on straight away, and then so that'll be good because he'll get his first round of users, and get the journeys better. It's great. It's been great working with him. I'm working with him quite closely, and just sort of he's going through the usual pain that you go through when you start a SaaS, which is how do I get users to understand my product? You know, how does the payment flow work? All that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Oh, you reminded me of something I wanted to ask.
Yeah, sure.
So I got this horrible spam message, it was like titled like errors in Alchemist Camp or something, and it was just like, oh, how can you expect to get any growth if you have any search engine console errors and blah 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 blah, and I can do a report on it for you and let you know what the issues are for free if you just buy the cheapest tier of my marketing solution. But there is like I'm getting a couple of 500 errors in the search engine console, and it's basically from someone hitting a route that doesn't exist. It's like someone is trying to go to alchemist.camp/epis, not episode, but just epis.
Yeah. Okay.
And that returns a 500 because like that's not a valid route.
So what do you think?
Well, I think Google shouldn't really care, but I don't know. And if they do care, how do I prevent that? Do I add a rule in my robots.txt to keep them from crawling that page, or what?
Yeah.
And why are they crawling it? Like, it must be a bad link somewhere, is what I'm guessing.
You if you want to be quite specific, you can just have a robots that says only crawl these specific pages. You can dynamically make it so that it's just episodes.
I am dynamically making a sitemap.xml.
And they're ignoring that?
They're crawling everything I put in it, but I guess
they're also crawling everything else.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with your sitemap, can't you say exclude?
I don't know if you can do that in a sitemap or not. That's a good question. Yeah.
No, because you're talking about robots.txt versus sitemap.
Yeah. Have you ever had this problem or something similar?
I probably do, but I just don't pay attention to it.
You just don't get the spammy email because your email's not on Indie Hackers.
I have had spammy emails about people testing stuff out and saying, I know I can hack your site. Hire me to be a security fixer, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one, I haven't gotten that one yet, but this one and a few others have been SEO related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh well, I guess maybe I'll put that in my robots, but I won't worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's too stressful. No. Let's do goals.
All right. I still have to go down to Taichung, which is city, the kind of center part of Taiwan.
Okay.
So that's for another barbecue. So I think I'm just going to go for 4 more videos. Just 4 videos. Okay. That's the only goal. Probably going to spend a whole bunch of time on my programming books I bought, but I'll just stick with that. And then health-wise, go for 1 day of fasting.
Oh, nice.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, my health has been quite interesting. My blood sugar has been very good.
Nice.
Last week. I don't know. Maybe it's the trampolining. I'm not sure. I guess I've taken up the personal trainer and the trampoline, so maybe the combination of those two. I noticed one thing.
Is your house just the direct family now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That could also be.
So you can trampoline and not be self-conscious.
Yeah. And so one thing I did notice, and this is interesting, is when I first got the trampoline, it was before I started with the personal trainer. And as I was like bouncing, if I was to do something like lift my arms up or something like that, I felt a real strain about that, like
Hmm.
on the down, because I'm just not strong. Um, but even like 2 weeks after working with a personal trainer, I can do that, and I just feel much more functionally strong again. Like
Hmm.
just the basic resistance. So I think it's really powerful to have resistance and do proper resistance training, even just
Are
once a
you just
week.
doing like normal weightlifting?
No, it's just like shit, man. It's all body weight.
Oh, body
It's
weight.
just
Okay.
just basic stuff, yeah. But even just paying attention to it and having so, because like, I mean, I'm just a couch potato. Apart from that, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Like I'm not like like doing proper weights or something like that. I'm just either a couch potato or doing a little bit of something with a personal
Well,
trainer. Yeah.
I've only been into a weight room, I guess, once in the past 3.5 years,
Oh, okay.
twice in the past 6 years. But I do. I also do body weight exercises. I just do
Yeah.
dips and pull ups, but I weigh a lot. Like that's
Yeah.
that's a difference.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but so in terms of goals for me, what are we on my goals yet, or are we still on yours?
We're on yours.
Oh yeah. Um, more slight. I want to get. I think by this time next week, I'll shoot to have it in some kind of fully playable version where you can unlock, you can get the keys. That might be too advanced, but I'll try anyway. By this time next week, to unlock and get the keys, move through the levels. Yeah,
Good deal. Nice.
yeah. And health, I'll just keep doing this trampolining once a day.
Are you still doing the chop diet or?
Yeah, yeah. I've got
Yeah.
always got that on the go. Yep, really enjoying
So
that.
I bet that's helping out too.
Yeah,
Sounds like it's going pretty good.
yeah. Thanks.
Nice. All right. Well, see you next week then.
All right. Good luck. Have a good one.
All right. Later.
Cheers.